Your brain is a terrible historian, like truly awful. Imagine hiring someone to document your life and they just made stuff up. That's your brain. You might think you remember your first kiss, your high school graduation, or that one time you heroically saved a raccoon from a trash can. But here's the kicker. You don't remember the event, you remember the last time you remembered it. Yeah, every time you recall a memory, your brain slightly rewrites it, like a weird game of telephone where the message gets fuzzier, weirder, and somehow involves more personal heroism each time. Psychologists call this reconsolidation. It's basically your brain editing the director's cut of your life, except the director is drunk, nostalgic, and trying to protect your fragile ego. Why would your brain do this? Simple, it wants you to like yourself. Accurate memories can be, well, kind of traumatic. So instead of forcing you to relive that time you tripped in front of your crush while holding a tray of spaghetti, your brain smooths over the edges. No, you meant to trip. It was a hilarious joke. Everyone loved it. You're charming and spontaneous. And before you ask, no, this isn't just for the bad stuff. Even good memories get romanticized. That perfect vacation. It probably involved a lot more sunburn, mosquitoes, and weird-smelling hotel towels than you remember. Basically, your brain gaslights you, but like lovingly. Ever feel like everyone is watching you? Like your bad hair day is somehow public news? Congratulations, you're suffering from what psychologists call the spotlight effect, the belief that the world is paying way more attention to you than it actually is. Spoiler alert, they're not. They're too busy worrying about their own bad hair days. Your brain has this charming little glitch where it assumes you're the main character, not just in your life, but in everyone else's. So if you spill coffee on yourself, wear mismatched socks, or pronounce quinoa like quino in public, your brain goes full panic mode. Oh no, they'll never forget this. I've ruined my life. But the truth is, nobody cares. Really. Most people are too busy thinking about their own awkward slip-ups to even notice yours. Or if they do notice, they forget 5 seconds later when their brain reroutes them back to, did I leave the stove on? Your brain tells you you're being judged so it can keep you from embarrassing yourself. But ironically, it's that fear of embarrassment that causes more awkwardness. You try to act normal, which makes you act like a malfunctioning AI trying to simulate small talk. So yeah, the spotlight's not on you. It's on literally nobody because everyone's stuck in their own little shame spiral. Comforting, right? There's a famous psychology experiment where you're told to watch people pass a basketball and count how many times it changes hands. Most people do fine. But half of them don't notice the guy in a full gorilla suit who strolls into the middle of the scene, beats his chest, and leaves. Yep, a literal gorilla, and your brain just deletes it. This little phenomenon is called inattentional blindness. It's your brain's way of saying, if I didn't explicitly tell you to care about gorillas today, I'm going to pretend they don't exist. It's kind of like how you can walk past your fridge looking for the mustard, swear it's not there, then 5 seconds later someone else opens the fridge and finds it in plain sight. Your brain has limited resources, so it filters out anything not deemed important. But the definition of important is based on your attention, not actual relevance. Which is why you miss obvious stuff all the time, like your phone sitting right on the desk, or your friend's new haircut, or, I don't know, a gorilla in the room. It's not just a party trick. This glitch can be dangerous. Drivers hit cyclists because they weren't looking for bikes. Pilots miss warnings because they're focused on dials. Basically, your brain is a bouncer with a clipboard, and if something's not on the list, tough luck, it's not getting in. So if you've ever been called unobservant, congratulations. You're just running standard human software. You're sitting there minding your own business when suddenly, buzz, you check your pocket. Nothing, you check again, still nothing. You're now questioning your grip on reality. Welcome to the world of phantom phone vibrations, where your brain is so addicted to social validation, it starts making stuff up. This is real. Studies show that a majority of people experience phantom vibrations, especially if they're chronically anxious, overworked, or, just extremely online. Your nervous system gets so used to feeling your phone buzz that it starts anticipating it. Like a needy dog that barks at shadows because maybe it's the mailman. It's your brain doing what it does best, trying to be helpful. It senses something vague, pressure from your genes, a twitch of a muscle, and goes, ah yes, definitely a text from that person who still hasn't replied in 2 days. Let's get excited and release some dopamine. But there's no text, there's no buzz, there's just you spiraling. And it's not limited to vibrations. Some people hear their name being called when nobody's there. Others feel their phone glow in their pocket. Basically, your brain is throwing a hallucination party and you're always on the guest list. So if you're haunted by ghost notifications, don't worry. Your brain's just being clingy. Ever have an accident, a car crash, a bad fall, or an awkward social encounter, and afterwards you kind of don't remember it, like the moment just skipped? That's not trauma erasing your memory. That's your brain installing a reality buffer. When something intensely stressful or overwhelming happens, your brain slams the emergency brake on full sensory processing. It stops making memories like it usually would and starts filming on shaky, low-budget VHS. The result? Big chunks of time go missing. You're left with a few weird snapshots and a general sense of, wow, that sucked. It's called dissociation, and it's your brain's very own mental escape hatch. It's like your mind hears too much, too fast, and goes, nope, I'm out. Let me know how it ends. Sometimes it's useful, say, when you're getting surgery or enduring a traumatic event. But sometimes your brain does it during less life-threatening things, like public speaking or accidentally replying, all to a work email. The goal? Protect your mental sanity by turning reality into a slightly less awful blur. Of course, the downside is that you feel like a confused ghost who just woke up in their own life. In short, if you've ever walked away from something embarrassing and couldn't remember half of it, congrats. Your brain just gave you a psychological blackout as a mercy gift. Okay, here's a fun contradiction. Your brain has the ability to completely freak out while keeping your face calm as a cucumber. It's called high-functioning anxiety, and it's the mind's equivalent of screaming internally while smiling politely at the grocery store cashier. Your heart's racing, your stomach's doing somersaults, and your thoughts are full of worst-case scenarios involving plane crashes, public failure, or spontaneously combusting during a Zoom meeting. But to everyone else, you're fine. Cool, chill, totally normal. Why does your brain do this? Because it learned to. Somewhere along the way, probably around childhood or your first group project, your brain decided that visibly panicking was worse than silently imploding. So it developed a coping strategy. Panic on the inside, perform on the outside. The result? You become too good at hiding it, even from yourself. You power through social events, deadlines, or literal existential dread while looking like someone who just did a yoga retreat. Of course, the bill eventually comes due. Usually in the form of mysterious stomach pains, chronic tension, or spontaneous sobbing in the produce aisle. Your brain is trying to help, it really is. But suppressing a volcano doesn't mean it's not still there. It just means it's gonna blow eventually, probably while you're brushing your teeth. Let's talk about negativity bias, your brain's charming little habit of focusing way more on the bad than the good. It's why you can get 20 compliments and 1 insult, and guess which one you'll still be thinking about at 3 a.m. It's also why news headlines are 90% doom and 10% local dog learns to skateboard, because your brain is addicted to threats. This all made sense when you were a caveman. Back then, noticing a rustle in the bushes could mean the difference between surviving and becoming saber-toothed tiger sushi. But now, that same fear filter gets applied to everything, your job, your relationship, your mildly passive-aggressive barista. It's not that good things don't register. They do, just less. Your brain files them under nice but non-essential. Meanwhile, bad stuff gets highlighter, sirens, and an internal TED talk about why you're probably failing at life. Here's the punchline. Your brain isn't trying to ruin your mood. It thinks it's protecting you. But in modern life, where the threats are more like email tone and vague texts, that system just ends up making you anxious and slightly feral. In other words, your brain is a drama queen with a sword. You ever cry over a movie character's death more than an actual life event? Or feel emotionally gutted by a tick-tock of a raccoon getting rescued? That's because of a delightful little trick called emotional projection, where your brain treats fictional or abstract situations like real emotional events. Turns out, the human brain doesn't do a great job distinguishing between real experiences and vividly imagined ones. The same emotional circuits light up whether you're experiencing heartbreak or watching a rom-com breakup scene for the 12th time while eating cereal at midnight. Why? Because empathy is wired into you. Mirror neurons, Those sneaky little brain cells activate when you see someone else feel something, especially if it reminds you of your own experiences. Your brain essentially goes, "Ah yes, this cartoon rabbit's pain is now my pain." It's kind of beautiful and kind of exhausting. The weird part is that this can make fiction more powerful than real life. Real events are messy, complicated, and happen in slow motion. But fiction hits you with concentrated emotional caffeine. It's like your brain goes, "Let's skip the boring nuance and dive straight into grief, baby." So the next time you're emotionally wrecked over a TV finale, remember, your brain thinks that happened to you. And honestly, that's a little adorable. Let's address the emotional equivalent of saying, "It's just allergies," while clearly crying. Emotional suppression. This is the brain's passive-aggressive way of convincing you that if you just ignore a feeling long enough, it'll quietly leave. Spoiler, it won't. It'll rent a room in your subconscious, start collecting interest, and burst out at 3 a.m. 6 years later because someone used the wrong tone. Your brain does this out of a weird, protective instinct. Strong emotions. Risky. They might lead to vulnerability, confrontation, or, worst of all, other people seeing your feelings. So instead of letting you feel stuff, your brain grabs the emotional equivalent of duct tape and shoves everything into a basement labeled, "We'll deal with this later." Except later never comes. Instead, you get mood swings, anxiety, headaches, or a sudden urge to cry during toothpaste commercials. Suppressing emotions doesn't delete them, it just turns them radioactive. And the fun part? Sometimes your body takes over. You'll get sweaty palms, racing thoughts, or stomach issues for no reason. Except there is a reason. Your brain is holding a grudge against reality and expressing it through physical symptoms. Basically, emotional suppression is your brain's attempt to avoid drama by becoming the drama. Good job, brain. Let's talk about panic attacks, also known as your brain pulling the fire alarm over literally nothing. You could be sitting peacefully in a cafe, sipping tea, when suddenly, bam, heart racing, chest tightness, shortness of breath, impending doom. Did someone poison your muffin? Are you dying? Is this how it ends? Nope, your brain just hit the panic button without permission. Panic attacks are the mental equivalent of waking up in the middle of the night because your smoke alarm went off, and it was just steam from the shower. Your brain sensed something, got confused, and decided to save your life anyway, even if there was nothing to be saved from. The absurd part? Your body responds like you're being chased by wolves. Adrenaline, cortisol, tunnel vision. But there's no wolf. There's just you, your latte, and your overprotective lizard brain flipping every switch in sight. And once you've had one, your brain starts scanning for future threats, which means you can end up having panic attacks about having panic attacks. A full-on recursive meltdown loop. So if you've ever felt like your body betrayed you in public, don't worry, it did. But it meant well. Basically, your brain tried to save your life and just got the address wrong. Ever look back at a time when you were weirdly confident, maybe even a little cocky, and now you're like, "Wow, I knew absolutely nothing." Congratulations. You've experienced the Dunning-Kruger effect, a delightful glitch where people with low ability overestimate their skills, and people with high ability underestimate theirs. It's your brain trying to make you feel good about yourself before it has the facts. Think of it like false confidence on a first date, all charm, no substance. "Oh, I've totally got this," says your brain before metaphorically driving off a cliff. Ironically, the more you learn, the less confident you feel, because now you're aware of all the things you do know. Meanwhile, someone with no idea what they're doing is running around like a motivational speaker in a Red Bull ad. Your brain hands out confidence based on perception, not actual skill. So it inflates your ego when you're clueless and deflates it when you're finally smart enough to realize you're not a genius. It's like being rewarded for ignorance and punished for growth. Neat, right? So next time you feel like you're not good enough, remember, that feeling probably means you're finally starting to understand things. Your brain is just going through its humility phase. This one's sneaky. It's the normalcy bias, your brain's stubborn refusal to accept that something bad is happening, even while it's happening. It's why people freeze during emergencies. Why someone in a burning building might just sit there checking their email. Why people say, "It's probably nothing," while actively bleeding from the face. Your brain wants everything to stay the same. So when something truly weird or terrifying starts, it filters the information through the "this can't be happening" lens. It assumes the best, even when the worst is literally on fire in front of you. This made sense when panic could get you killed. If a rustle in the bushes wasn't a tiger, it was safer to pretend everything was chill. But in modern life, where reacting fast actually helps, say, in an earthquake or crisis, normalcy bias makes you slow and weirdly polite about danger. So yeah, your brain would rather you calmly walk into disaster with a latte in hand than accept that, yes, things are going sideways. Basically, your brain's like, let's just pretend this isn't happening and hope the universe agrees. Spoiler, the universe never agrees. Ever have a vivid memory of something that never happened? Like crystal clear, you swear it happened. Welcome to the false memory effect, where your brain doesn't just misremember, it straight up invents stuff with full confidence. It's not even your fault. Your brain is trying to create a coherent narrative from scattered details, so it fills in blanks with total fiction. It mixes real memories, dreams, things people told you, movie scenes, and random thoughts, then packages it as definitely real. And you believe it hard because it feels real. Studies show people can be convinced they went on hot air balloon rides that never happened just by seeing a doctored photo, or that they got lost in a mall as a kid when they didn't. Your brain goes, seems legit, and files it under truth. Why? Because your brain values consistency more than accuracy. It's trying to build a believable autobiography, not a perfectly sourced Wikipedia entry. So if a few chapters are fictional, well, that's just creative license. In short, your brain is the unreliable narrator of your own life story.